Hi team. Our first machine learning exploration is going to be an exploration of trying to teach a computer its colors. Identifying colors is a very human thing for us to do. Like, we can see things and know that they're beautiful, and we can identify this is red, this is blue, I like pink, I like orange. These are things that we express from a very young age. And so being able to teach a computer to do this seems like a good place to start, to see if we can get a computer to think and understand colors the way we do. Perceiving color is such a very human thing. I can, from just using my eyes, look at this color here and see that to me this appears red, this appears blue, this is green. Computers use a very different system to gauge color. They actually have a number for usually red, green, and blue is one way to do it. So a separate number for the amount of red in a color, the amount of green in a color, the amount of blue in a color. We are going to start a machine learning cycle. And we're going to go through this cycle to see how well we can train a computer to understand the colors. The first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be collecting a whole bunch of data in order to show a computer by example what red looks like, what blue looks like, what green looks like, and other, just categorizing into those four groups. The next step is to feed all of that data into the machine learning algorithm. This happens during the training phase. Once the algorithm is trained, we evaluate, we test to see how well the algorithm does, in this case, how well it's able to recognize colors of a bunch of different types. And the general idea for machine learning is that you want a really big data set. You want as much data as you can possibly collect so that the computer has as many examples as possible to learn from. This is similar to your experience as a student, I'm sure. The more examples that you have to go through in math, the more examples that you have of whatever it is you're trying to learn to do, the more you can actually understand what it is you're supposed to get out of all those examples. So we want to collect a lot of data. And a good rule of thumb that we typically use is we collect a bunch of data and we use 80% of that data for training. We save 20% of that data to see how well the algorithm has done. We don't train on the testing data. It's kind of like in the idea of a test, like you're not necessarily going to have the same questions on a test as what you did to study for that test. And so same thing, we save some of our data purely for testing, purely for evaluating, so that we can give our trained algorithm examples that it has never seen before, just to see how well it's able to do on those new examples. So I've pieced together a tool for you to use in Swift Playgrounds to help in collecting this data. This will generate a whole bunch of random values, and you're going to categorize them as one of those four colors. You're then going to highlight all of that data, copy it using Control-C, and you're going to paste it into a spreadsheet. And what's going to happen after that is we're going to take your individual data and we're going to put it together into a class-wide data set that we're going to use for the training set. So my hope for you is that you collect around 100 colors, you categorize them as red, green, blue, or other. You take all 100 of those samples and you paste them into the spreadsheet template that I've posted on our class website. The next thing I want you to focus on after you've collected that data is I want you to see if you can use your programming skills to program a rule that can basically do what we're trying to get the computer to learn to do. So here you can see the second page of the Swift Playground that I built for you. And this has some sliders that you can play around with. So this is the red value, this is the green value, and this is the blue value. And you can see how the computer uses those three values to put colors together. You can move those sliders yourself, or you can just hit the random color button and it will randomize those values between 0 and 1 for all three colors, red, green, and blue, and you can see what you notice about the color and the values that generate that color. And over here I have a function that I've called color from values, and I want you to write a conditional statement in Swift that tries to categorize which color is going to be visible given a certain value. So I've just thrown an example in here. If the red is greater than 0.5, return red, otherwise return other. And I'm using the value of this color from values over here in the color swatch. So you can see, following that rule, my algorithm is categorizing this as red. It's clearly not, but the red is 1. The red is greater than 0.5. But you can see if I bring these down, okay, this definitely does look red now. So this isn't wrong, it's just incomplete. And I want you to figure out what rule might do a good job of categorizing these colors into red, green, blue, or other. Experiment, see how well you can do it, so that we have a comparison to make when we then teach a computer to do this in the next step. That's it. Have fun today. See you next time.